Welcome to episode 63. Today we are going to talk about part two of success from the inside out. Last week we talked about success as starting to embody your expertise. So one of the keys to building success from the inside out is making this shift from having expertise in your hand to literally being an expert, to knowing your expertise, knowing the value of it. This week, we're going to talk about getting unstuck. This is another of the most important shifts that I made as a business owner when I moved from teaching to business, when I moved, through thinking of myself as an employee, as a teacher, as someone who, someone else told me what to do, to being a leader in my own business, to making my own decisions, to knowing how to move forward. And the thing is, it is inevitable in business that something new is happening and we get stuck. It just is. Like, that's the truth of it. There is no world in which you build something new, you create a business, you take a new job, you have a new career, you do anything new, and you don't get stuck at least a handful, probably a billion times. This is just part and parcel of what happens. And so there is this really key internal shift, because remember, these shifts we're talking about, these success from the inside out things, are about internal shifts we can make inside of ourselves that we don't need other people to do for us, that other people honestly can't do for us, that are the core of what it takes to have success for the long term. Because we can do things that create success, we can build habits, we can do these things, we can take actions to bring ourselves success, but it's really hard to hang on to unless we do the internal work to build success from the inside out. So this second shift is about moving from I'm stuck, from thinking like I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, from this sort of like, oh crap, now what mindset, to I always know how to move forward, to shifting into a place where it's like, I always know what to do next. It's funny. I saw this post on LinkedIn this morning, and the woman referred to herself as someone who, learns a lot. When she first started her business, she went and took all the courses. And then she finds herself always wanting to get the next qualification, could get the next certification, take the next course. And she refers to it as conscious incompetence. Like this idea that she thinks she's incompetent, she's stuck here and she has to learn this next thing. And I think the first step of embodying your expertise helps you stay out of that unconscious incompetence. But also this second one, this thinking about moving from I'm stuck and I don't know what to do and I need help and I need somebody to fix it, to I always know how to move forward. This is about really tuning into your own internal capability and resourcefulness, because it's there. Like, you're capable. You do a lot of things. You've accomplished all kinds of stuff. You have figured your way out of all kinds of things most people wouldn't even dream of. And yet you allow yourself to get stuck here now and then. So for me, the secret of moving from I'm stuck to I always know how to get unstuck is having a process. And the process is about understanding why you're stuck. The thing that's really lovely here is that you already know how to do this. Like, we all know how to do this. You don't need a new process. You don't have to learn anything new. You already have a process. You know what to do. You just don't know it yet. This is something I've had to figure out on my own. It has helped to have a coach in my corner who has said, like, hey, you know how to do this. When I say like, right, but how does it work? They go like, well, how do you want it to work? And I do this with clients all the time. I had a client recently say to me, I need to build a process for prospecting, for finding new clients. She owns a company that interfaces with corporate clients, and she wants to build her pipeline and have more people coming to her. And I said, okay, She's like, well, how do you think we make a process? I'm like, well, what's your process now? And she's like, well, I don't have one. Well, you have clients and you have more clients every year. So you definitely have a process. She was like, oh, crap. And once we really talked about it, her process was really straightforward and simple. It's just that she hadn't taken a moment to understand she had it. And so coaching really helps us to uncover that stuff, having a conversation about those things. But just in general, there's this process of understanding why you're stuck. And here's the thing, it's super simple. You're going to be like, really? But, sometimes the really simple things are the ones we overlook. So when you are stuck, the first thing you have to do is step back and notice that you're stuck. When you're like, oh my God, what the heck is happening? I don't know what to do. You got to stop right there. You got to see the red flag that your brain just raised and step back and go, wait, why am I stuck? What's stuck here? Okay. So you just pause and you go what's happening? Take yourself out of yourself for a second. Imagine you're watching yourself from the outside, out of body experience. And it's well, what exactly is stuck here? Okay. So it's what's the problem? What's going on? Because if you can stop and know to ask yourself the question, it's oh, wait. And actually, this is one of those things that we learn in coaching. We get this habit of noticing. Someone else helps us notice when we're doing things. And we get to build that habit ourselves. I have clients that come to me now and they'll be like, I heard you in my head the other day because I started to do this thing and I started to get all tangled up in it. And I was like, wait, hold on, what's happening? And they're like, and then I figured it out. So this is a process, right? So the first question is, why am I stuck? What's happening right now? And then the second question is, why here? Why is this the place that I'm stuck? Because what's interesting about this question is I find with clients, I find with myself, what we don't notice is the patterns in why we're stuck. But once we think about it, we see the same things happening over and over and over again. It's oh, crap. Clients will say to me, I have this plan for writing out content. And then every time I sit down, it's nothing is there. It's blank. My brain just goes poof, gone. Or they'll say, I go to make the offer and I freeze. And then I can't tell them how much it costs. I get all this anxiety. Or they'll say, I go to the networking event and, I sign up and everything's great. And then the day of, I talk myself out of going time and time again. It's okay, wait, what's happening here? Why are you getting stuck at the same place over and over again? And noticing the patterns helps you go oh, wait. Okay, there's more to this. So then once you know why you're stuck, what's stuck and why it's that place, then you get to be okay, wait. So I know why I'm stuck. I know that it's happening in the same spot over and over again. So how do I want to move forward from here? Right? It's this oh, now that I have a little bit of data that's I get stuck here over and over again. Now your brain can go into oh, gosh, there are options for me here. Let me try my options, right? So I find for me, for my clients, for my friends, I talk to people about this all the time. I find that we humans, particularly humans that used to teach or have a teaching degree, because we all struggle with the same stuff, get stuck in the same places over and over and over again for the same 4 reasons. There are 4 reasons we get stuck. Ready? The first most common reason of why we get stuck, I think, is we're waiting. And by waiting, I mean, waiting. For me, it tends to be waiting, like it was in the last episode, for somebody to come tap me on the shoulder and tell me it's my turn. I wait for permission. It's am I allowed to do this? Who said it's okay? I wait for somebody to come knock on the door and be like, your turn, you're amazing. That's not going to happen. So I wait for permission. Waiting can also take the form of well, but it's not quite the right time yet. The timing isn't right. You're waiting for the right time, which is quite honestly never coming. Or you're waiting for like a sign. You're waiting for it to work itself out, or you're just waiting generally. You're waiting to be reasonable. And so, it's like, okay, why am I stuck? Am I waiting? Because if I am, like, do I need to be? Is there something wrong with the timing? Is there a reason I need permission? Like, is any of that actually true? Probably not. The second reason we we get stuck is that we have a question or we need help. And that's like a valid reason. But the thing is once we realize we have a question or we need help, we then go find somebody to ask or help us. Sometimes we're stuck because we just haven't identified what we need yet. And once we do, it's like, oh, well, crap, I just need somebody that knows how to make that web page. Or I need to call my friend that does this all the time and ask her how she does it. Or I need to spend an hour digging into how to use this tool so I can get everything I need out of it. Fine. It's when you identify that you have a question or you need help. It's like, oh, I'm not really stuck here. I know what to do next. The third reason we get stuck is, I think, what I call the sneaky ninja of the bunch. The third reason is that we're unsure. And here's the thing. There is no way around this sucker. Like, uncertainty is just part and parcel of the game of doing life. Truth. But the problem is we like to have a plan. Teachers particularly like a plan. You had lesson plans that went 6 months ahead. Come on. You like a plan. You had everything laid out. It was all going to work. It's all great. And then it never worked to plan because life doesn't work like that. But in business, what we try to do is we try to plan out the uncertainty. And that's just not a thing. Like, we cannot plan away being unsure how it's going to work out. But what happens is we wait, we stop, we get stuck because we're unsure of how it's going to work out. So when we're unsure, we're like, you know what, I should wait till I'm sure. But the only way to get sure is to keep going. And that's like, oh, crap. So with uncertainty, sometimes we just have to keep moving. And we get to say to our brains, like I teach my kids, they make fun of me, but it is what it is. When they are uncertain and they're scared, like I'm unsure is fear in a Halloween costume, right? When they're scared and they're uncertain, I teach them, as long as it's a safe situation, right? My son will be scared to go to bed sometimes at night. I'll say to him, okay, you say to your brain, brain, and he'll go, brain. I'll say, brain. He'll say, brain, I'm safe. You can just be like, brain, we got this. I have a coaching friend. Her name is Stephanie Spinelli, and she talks about this idea of a toddler with a knife. I don't know where she gets it, but like sometimes our brains run around like with a toddler, like a toddler with something they shouldn't have. A toddler who accidentally picks up like a sharp object and is running around the room playing with it. You don't go like, oh my God, what are you doing? You go, oh, hey, that's not for you. That's for grownups. Here, let me take it from you. Hold on. And you take it out of their hand. Okay. This is the same thing. You go like, hey, brain, we don't need to freak out about this. It's okay. I got it. We're going to work it out. I'm safe. And you move forward. The fourth of the bunch is trying to do it right. This is perfectionism. It's out there. It happens to me. It'll be like, okay, I just need to do this one more time. And then it'll be right that time. Like the podcast episode I recorded last week, I was like super proud of and super happy about. And then it came out and like the sound quality is weird. Something didn't connect right. And I was like, I got to do that all again. And I was like, you know what? No, I don't. I was like, nope, it's just going to have wonky sound. I'll tell everybody, they'll love it anyways. The content is great. I'm gonna move on. Like, I don't let myself anymore get like tied into that, but I certainly have other ways that I try to do it right. So don't worry. I haven't dropped perfectionism entirely, but we all do this where it's like, right, but I will keep moving as soon as I have it just perfect. It's not quite what I want yet. It's not quite ready. I can't tell anybody. This is my favorite. I have clients do this all the time. I have friends do this all the time. I will start talking about it as soon as I know all the details. Stop it. You have enough information to start talking about it right now. So do that. So the process goes like this. You go like, you get stuck and you notice it. You sit back and you go, why am I stuck? And if your brain doesn't offer you anything right out of the gate, you go, am I waiting? Maybe. Do I have a question or I need help? Am I unsure? Or am I trying to do it right? Or is it something else? And then you get an answer and you go like, okay, what do I need to do to move forward from here? And if the answer is you need coaching, great. If the answer is you need an expert, great. If the answer is you just need to keep going, super. The takeaway here is you're capable and you are resourceful. When you know that, when you believe you are capable and you're going to figure it out and you are resourceful, you're going to figure it out. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to sabotage yourself because you know you're going to figure it out. It might not work the first time. Some things are not going to be perfect. That is okay. You don't need to procrastinate because it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be fine. But the thing to remember is that getting unstuck doesn't have to be something you do alone. Like, I am crap at getting out of my own way, quite honestly. That is why I have a coach I meet with every week. That is why I have one coaching buddy I meet with every week and a pair of coaching buddies I meet with every 2 weeks, because we all get in our own ways. We need people in our worlds to see us and be like, why are you doing that? My coaching friends will be like, and my coach this week was like, seriously, are you doing it like that? Why? And I just looked at her and was like, oh, we all get in our own way. If this really resonates with you and you feel like you get stuck often and you need someone in your world to keep you accountable to moving forward and help you see the times where you need to make a change versus the times you just have to keep going, I can do that. This is part of what I do for clients all the time. It's part of what I teach them to do for themselves so they don't need me forever, because I'm not going to work with everybody forever. That's not how this works. If you want to talk about coaching, you can come to my website, which is torpycoaching.com, and you can book a time to chat, or you can send me an email. It's sarah@torpycoaching. The other thing is, if this series is resonating with you, this is all part of what I wrote in a book last year called Just Keep Going. It is a book of charts and questions. It's a workbook. It's like the best kind of book ever because you use it for stuff. And there is a whole section in the book, a set of worksheets about getting unstuck. There's a couple sections actually, because this is a big topic, right? So if you want to go do that work, if you'd like to see those worksheets, you can go to my website again and buy the book, or you can do it on Amazon. It's just called Just Keep Going, and I'll link it in the show notes. So you are capable, you are resourceful, I promise. Next week, we're going to talk about embracing failure. That is episode 3 of this series. And if you like this podcast, I would really appreciate it if you go to your podcast platform that you listen to it on, you leave a review or you subscribe. This is part of how other people find it. And I would love for other people to be able to find it. The more people, the merrier, right? So thank you for listening, for reviewing, for subscribing. Thank you for being part of this world. And if you're not in my group, it's called Teachers in Business. You should come join on Facebook because we do all this kind of stuff all the time. All right, I'll see you next week.